news, sports, weather, business and finance, technology, culture and more. Tell us your story. Let's debate. Let's stand on issues. Let's defend democracy in Africa. On SBN Live. Sherix Broadcast Network. We lead, others follow.
The Constitutional Review Committee's abridged report discussed in details. Was it necessary? What are the new proposals? How will the new proposals help Sierra Leone? All of this and more with our panel. The Constitutional Review Committee's report live on Sherix Broadcast Network.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Sherix Broadcast Network coming to you live and direct from Houston, Texas. We welcome you to this other broadcast today, another edition. Of course, we are coming to you live from studio number 8. And we very much appreciate the fact that you are here with us and that you are following us. We appreciate that. Of course, today, as you can see, we are going to discuss the Sierra Leone Constitutional Review Committee's abridged report that they have issued out, which is now in front of Parliament in Sierra Leone, and that is the report we are going to discuss here today. And of course, in the following week, coming next weekend, we are going to invite legal minds to talk to us about the legalities surrounding this very report. And so today we are going to talk exclusively to a policy advocate for Sierra Leone who is resident in New Jersey in the United States, in the person of Mr. Jesmed F. Suma. He's going to talk to us about his own general perspective on this abridged report that has been issued out by the Constitutional Review Committee from Sierra Leone, West Africa. But before that, we have a puzzle that we want to give you, and we want you to provide an answer to that puzzle, or if not, we can also provide an answer to that puzzle at the end of this broadcast. So we're going to bring you this puzzle right now, and you're going to give me some time to go to the next studio and give you this puzzle. All right? And so we want you to stick around as we make things happen for you right here at Sherix Broadcast Network.
The Constitutional Review Committee's abridged report discussed in details. Was it necessary? What are the new proposals? How will the new proposals help Sierra Leone? All of this and more with our panel. The Constitutional Review Committee's report live on Sherix Broadcast Network.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, definitely this is the puzzle that we have for you. How come her hair didn't get wet at all? Now, this is about 3 ladies. The 3 ladies went to shop. They went out to shop together as girls always do. All right? So when they went to shop, they finished shopping and then they decided to go home. Now, when they came outside to go home, they found out that it was raining heavily outside and they had no umbrellas. They had nothing to cover their hair. All right? So 2 of the ladies decided anyway, after a lot of argument, they say, you know what, we got to go home. So the 2 ladies ran to their car without covering their hair, and ultimately their hair got wet. All right? And then the 3rd lady was standing there. She had no umbrella, nothing. And then she decided to run to the car and meet the other ladies there. She did not cover her hair, but her hair did not get wet. All right, her hair did not get wet. So the question is, how come her hair didn't get wet? So that is the puzzle for tonight. And of course, we're expecting that you exercise your brain on that puzzle and you'll be able to come back to us with an answer. So why do you think the 3rd lady's hair did not get wet? It was raining cats and dogs. She had no umbrella. She ran to her car, but her hair did not get wet. So we want you to take note of that. All right? And of course, we are are going to start this session with nothing but a video from the Constitutional Review Committee that they put together to sensitize and educate the people of Sierra Leone on the work and the assignment that they were given to do.
The Constitutional Review Committee, CRC, has been set up by the government of Sierra Leone to review the 1991 Constitution. The committee is an independent body funded by the government of Sierra Leone, the UN family, DFID, and the EU. So it's a chance to make a better Sierra Leone. Everybody has a suggestion, but they don't know how to pass it on. So CSC is here to help. You can send your opinion, cause it's your right to change the constitution.
Oh, don't change. I mean, you're not the big one, so let's say change.
Oh, come on, pull you now.
Okay.
Come on, pull you.
No, sit down. You know what? Cancelo, we don't call the meeting. What's in this meeting there, man? Let we just sit down and wait. What do you want to wait? Concern come. We all go no wait. So you know nothing. Now let we wait. See what's like? You know, Chief said don't come.
Hi, Cancelo.
Chief. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Chief. Good afternoon.
See how I get you silence. You know, sit down. Sit down. Chief, sit down.
But we dey beg for the waste time.
Chief, what's up?
That traffic the whole road.
Now the same thing with me, sir. For make
For
a
about 1 hour we dey at that place there.
You know easy.
I be tired of this so bad. So anyway, long don't we start again. Now we just carry on now. You go start for introduce yourself.
Chief, for make me introduce myself, I don't feel say I get any problem. Because even they were all waiting up, so they know this one green councillor. They know the work on this community. Look the pump there.
But shut up, forget about the pump. Pump will not go watch. I know
Oh, so they don't come up behind me,
I
ba.
know come out.
Now what you happy, man?
Not a politics.
Don't go behind me.
Not a politics.
I was slapping you, you know the people there.
Pump with the culture watch.
Cancelo.
Yes, sir.
I want to let you behave yourself. Listen, what you want to do? Them people there so you don't put a make one match for the two boss. And they have put you inside you. And Gigi store you go work out to the back. For me outside, I follow you because me tell die. Tell die day.
Who say? How about you do it? Forget about that talk. The Mrs. F. Carrot, not your pass die.
Yeah. This you don't understand.
The full man is here, Chief.
Now you took it. You now took
No,
it.
continue.
Yeah, it starts with you.
Yeah, me na councillor Tuwe.
Period. If they call long pump.
Me na do man and Charlie for this area. It's okay.
Me na Sule Bankura. When I mean na the first youth, why don't kill to Bika?
That's you. Well, Chief, Sisio, Enipa, you know, me na bigger, you know. I mean, the present chair leader, you know what I mean? And I mean, the chairman all team. I mean, take kind of Austria. No, but I mean, take kind of. I mean, give chance so.
Well, Chief, Sisio, Cinema. Well, me na J-Man. They call me Pecky. Now me there for them put there with the bikers association. I'm not the chairman.
What is their tire base? I control you.
Yes, now me there with
their tire base. Steve,
anyway, the one the way can meet me, they'll start for it with the
Well, me own name na Rodney Grant. We come on at the Constitutional Review Committee, the body where government set for look inside with 1991 Constitution.
Okay. Me na silence. I know say we all get ask waiting at this Constitutional Review Committee.
Yes, not true.
Constitution force. Now that law where government when are we papa, they put together for make sure say we as the people them we know waiting and waiting we they do for let we not break them law there. But from where they look inside the lawyer from 1991, we not look inside it again. For that reason they government don't look say so law they inside the way we for pull am. And something they where we for add.
Yes.
Because of that day, now that make them form this committee for make we look inside this 1991 constitution and change that we add. That make we turn to una the grassroots people because una voice them very important.
Come on, man. I will ask you one question. Do you want to put inside something when they pull this cancel on her?
Well, we not reach that side.
You. The customer asks you.
Una the my rights.
Wait.
What are my rights?
Well, Chief, I will stop here first.
I want to know we adjourn this meeting. Hey, because all man that's one. All man that's one. What you want to do? Let problem can there.
That the councillor.
Chief, I bet you another one problem with that.
Fine. So okay. Tomorrow, they are big. Same time like this.
No problem, sir.
I see.
You know about okay, Chief. This process now for una the people. So anything una say, now we go do.
Well, Chief, okay, because we self don't tire. Although we work for Okaya for and for can't talk to the people, but if you don't say so, we go rest.
Let me adjourn the put.
No problem, Chief.
We go come back according to Chief.
We tell them plenty thank you.
Oh, they go now.
Okay, Chief.
What the item to say?
What's item 13?
The item
to the worker for you.
Yes, you.
You know, there's nothing in the man business. We just come on now.
Look at
you make me feel disappointed. Because now this now also don't create all this, but especially you. You as a leader would expect so much from you. I don't expect you to stoop so long for the argue with this man. Because also your own man knows how you're going to belay you.
Who say foot to the go belay no dey?
Me not say foot the go belay, but if you don't behave you.
When you left you belay now now.
Message people that can preach so.
And belay the worker.
You cancel on any problem.
It's stupid this.
Now you stupid.
Okay. Then 2 months man they are put send dog a big one left in suffer. Big man and the
former.
If we now say we do something now.
So in that dey pa.
Yes sir.
Hello. What for I know?
Oh, you say go no.
You don't make man don't
this time they tell you. Now this time they tell you. You don't make man don't left you and for can nothing happen.
I go say nothing happen.
What happen?
You know where the baby dey talk?
What it talk? What did the baby talk now?
You know your information where the baby dey pass. Not chief in the meeting. You feel so glad about. Not chief in the meeting.
Oh, na me glad.
The baby don't start so.
You can lose it. I go lose it on here. You know remember that.
Peggy.
Me glad. They can
wait.
They can lose it first.
Now you wanna vex now. I mean, I tell you, let you wait. From the few lines away that woman, they don't talk. You are going to talk to them come up from CRC. Something will deal with the constitution. And constitution, now you get the country. And then say that they can pull what's not for the day and put new things that will go help with or go before. You know what's not with aim and objective. You talk say you know they can't.
And for you, man business back.
For what she said.
For what she said.
No make a vex for you. I don't need for beg you.
About constitution. Right. Constitution and get country. You must steady.
Oh, no wahala.
If you want.
Come back tomorrow.
I come. But you bigger. If you not come. And you know so get talk. Not come. You go see for the
come.
No, not come.
Go get the water.
Why you want to talk to me? Come tomorrow. Talk to
the water. You don't go let the water.
Bigger, like all that for picture. What's it? You know you do nothing. I go get on so.
Papa shall tell the baby.
Who say you tell her?
I tell her to go tell her so. Play with me. Boogie. Can't let us the cancel her. Boogie. Why you?
Cancel 2% mark. I no go left back here sef. I go left back.
I dey can go so wetin happen?
Na me cancel o. I want you pass. Na go dey do under so.
You go make flaba?
Not your palaba na true I tell her. If they call the kid talk say the pump will make watch and dey commodity. In lie back say item 13 dey watch out dey boku. One cream packet watch and then serve me Suleiman Bankura.
Wait. Chief no been dey.
Chief been there, the confession now they call it the meeting. They say tomorrow, now we can continue the meeting. Hey. The meeting they say then they go look upon the law. The old one where they been done make for 10 and to new one. Then if you not for put other one inside, then put other one inside. Now ask all if they can law work or put the council or come out.
Also, also you place standing for Tokland.
Me not a citizen.
You not citizen, yes.
I not your right.
But why? I hope you no go cause confusion.
I not fetching nobody. Na talk. I shot your court.
So say on the go the next meeting.
Let's say tomorrow at the next meeting.
Person?
No.
I go on witness that meeting tomorrow.
Oh, because I'm not calculated for that. You then now no more left now do the work the all. Cook, brook, check off the picking the wall. And then not support. I can't tell you what you call passing at the meeting.
I go still do that day, but I want witness that meeting.
No, well in a day made such confusion. I don't tell this woman now for us. In the make Chirakayes no more Chirakayes.
Okay.
I'm not.
So what about that you made?
I go prepare me. We go arrange down the inside.
Also, I can cook for you.
Okay, try no more. Look.
Actually, they can sit down.
How the body, sir?
No bad. But vexed by you.
Chief, what's happening?
I don't be expecting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is a video that was put together by the Constitutional Review Committee in an effort for them to sensitize and educate the people of Sierra Leone on the work that they were given to do. And of course, like I started by saying that this abridged report has now been submitted by the Constitutional Review Committee and is in front of Parliament. Of course, they are inviting all Sierra Leoneans from around the world to make their contribution to the final draft that will come out later. So it is incumbent on every Sierra Leonean to check the website for the Constitutional Review Committee and take a view at this report and make your own inputs. All right, it is about our constitution and how we can shape the future of Sierra Leone. And so for tonight, for us to discuss this issue, we have a special guest here, somebody who is well renowned around the globe for advocating for good policies in Sierra Leone. Of course, you must be wondering now, you must be saying, oh, we know who you are talking about. Of course, it's no other person but Mr. Jesmed Fode Mami Suma. He's going to talk to us live about his own general perspective with regards to this abridged report from New Jersey in the United States. And so give us a minute. We're going to go to the next studio for us to have this discussion with Mr. Mami Suma. All right?
The Constitutional Review Committee's abridged report discussed in details. Was it necessary? What are the new proposals? How will the new proposals help Sierra Leone? All of this and more with our panel. The Constitutional Review Committee's report live on Sherix Broadcast Network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see right there, that is Mr. Jesmed Fode Mami Suma, a policy advocate for Sierra Leone. Of course, he has been doing quite a good job on that. We want to get his own general perspective on this abridged report that has been issued out by the Constitutional Review Committee. And of course, Mr. Jesmed Fode Mami Suma, welcome to Sherix Broadcast Network.
Thank you for having me, my friend.
All right, and so we know that the Constitutional Review Committee has now issued this report, which is out, and they are inviting the Sierra Leonean public to go and review it and then make their own suggestions. And so my first question to you is, as somebody who advocates for good policy in Sierra Leone, how do you feel right now about the fact that this Constitutional Review Committee has in fact issued its first abridged report? What do you think about that?
Well, I must say I'm impressed with the report, with the exception of one or two areas. As I mentioned before, I was one of those who were skeptical about the formation of the Constitutional Review Committee on two grounds. One, because the party of the current government state of decadence that we are experiencing today. Secondly, we were wary about the possibility that this committee was probably set to influence a change in the constitution that will require the president to go for a third term. So because of that, quite a good number of us that had intentions of making submission to the committee did not make submission to the committee. But this draft seemed to have exonerated them from such suspicion. So I'm quite impressed with the work of the committee, and with the exception of one or two areas which probably we might touch on.
And so, Mr. Suma, there are certain new proposals which the Constitutional Review Committee introduced in this abridged report. And so I want us to take our time to talk about a few of those new proposals. And one of them is about the establishment of a local government. And of course, that is where I am a little confused, because I knew Sierra Leone was already operating since the SLPP was in power under Tijan Kaba late. Sierra Leone has been operating on a local government system wherein we have district councils, city councils. So what is new in this abridged report about the introduction of this local government? What do you think?
Well, I do not see much difference. It's just that the local government structure was not quite enshrined in the Constitution. And this recommendation is requiring it for it to be enshrined in the Constitution. And I'm one of those who advocate for a decentralized system of governance that will give more authority and more leverage to local government. And I'm one of those who have also advocated for local elections, local government elections, to be non-partisan. Non-partisan because of the fact that they are dealing with very small territories, very small population of people. Making it partisan may tend to be a little contentious and creates that rift between households, not even communities, households and families. But making it non-partisan will make it easier for people to focus on the issues as opposed to focus on party level. That aspect I like. But this is what I have concern with. For local government system to operate, there need to be some decentralized system of taxation, so that local government will have access to the resources that they need to run themselves without having to depend on the central government for continuous sustenance. For instance, there are certain areas with major companies operating in their local areas. If we had a very robust, well laid out decentralized system of taxation, quite a large percentage of the resources that are generated from the operations of those businesses in those areas should remain with the local government, ranging from Serabutai, the iron ore companies, the diamond mining companies, the gold mining companies, the multinational corporations that are running agricultural companies, and other businesses around the country operating in different areas. But as it is now, the major part of the resources that are generated from those operations still goes to the central government, which I think we need to look into that and find a way to give some more resources or access to resources to the local government.
And so there is also this other area which the CRC was not very clear about, and that is trying to replace the unicameral system of government with the bicameral system of government, in the sense that they want to create this special house for paramount chiefs, that may look like the U.S. Senate and the U.S. Congress, whatever the case may be. What do you think also about that too?
Well, the idea of having two chambers is very great, but it all depends on the composition and the powers that are accorded to the different chambers. Again, that's another area that I also share some, support for a decentralized. It falls under the same decentralized system that I spoke to earlier. Having two chambers, it's a good idea, but I'm worried about the way they have recommended, what they are recommending, in the sense that you're having a chamber of paramount chiefs, people elected for lifetime. There will come a time when they will not be answerable to their subject once elected, because it's a lifetime election. So I am very much concerned about that, and I don't think that's a good idea of having a chamber comprising of people that are elected for lifetime, which is what the chiefs are elected for lifetime for. My recommendation would be having two chambers, one comprising of half of the current members of parliament we have, which means you will have to increase the sizes of the constituencies. Instead of having a population of 30 to 35,000, we can have constituencies to comprise of a population of 65 or 70,000, if possible 100,000. That will increase the population size but reduce the number of representation across the country. So we have the upper chamber comprising of those that are in Freetown as the upper chamber members of parliament. Then you have the lower chamber that will comprise of provincial representatives, but each one will have their seats in their own respective provinces. So you have a chamber in the northern province, eastern province, western area, and the southern province. Now, for any bill to come to pass to law, such bill, just like it happens in other countries, will have to go through the lower chamber, which comprises of the provincial legislative body, and go through the upper chamber, which are the ones that are going to be based in Freetown. Now, the reason why that is important, it is because now the way the thing is structured, if someone wants to influence any law in Sierra Leone, as we know how corrupt the system is, it's easier for you to influence the legislative system because you have a very few people to deal with. You have a small number of committee members to influence. But if a system requires a bill to pass through the lower chamber, which comprises of provincial legislative body, and the upper chamber, that creates a much greater challenge. And secondly, this current system has some disconnection between the members of parliament and their subjects. So they have a situation when people are elected, they are based in the capital city in Freetown for the rest of their term, they hardly go down to their constituencies, and you don't see that level of connection that you expect from them. But if you have a structure wherein you have a lower chamber, the people actually live there with their subject, and they go to, and make decisions among their subjects, having experiences, the same experiences that the subjects are having, as opposed to what we have now, will be a much better structure than what they are recommending. Because having chiefs make decisions after being elected and when they are elected for a lifetime, I consider that to be problematic.
And so, what do you also think about the fact that the CRC was able to propose that when the Sierra Leonean is serving in the position of president or vice president, and that individual happens to lose his or her membership in his or her individual political party, that can never be used as a justification to remove that individual from his or her position as either president or vice president of the country. Now, what do you think about that as well?
Well, I don't even consider that to be a change. That is already enshrined in the current constitution, 1991 constitution. And that's the argument that the legitimately elected vice presidents and Sumana's legal representatives were making, that the president had no right to fire him on the basis that the man has lost his membership in his APC party.
Right.
Because our constitution does not give him the right for him to fire any elected vice president, and there are procedures defined within the constitution as to how such should be done, requiring the matter to be presented to the legislature and debated, and impeachment is passed. But in this case, they are more or less perhaps trying to clear the ambiguity that is allegedly existing in the current law. But there are certain aspects that I want to point out.
Right.
By the fact that the very review committee is highlighting that aspect, is a slap in the face of the outgoing Chief Justice, who deliberately, against the legal advice of some of the architects of the very Constitution, sided with the President to violate the heartbeat of our Constitution. So even though we all know that the President did it deliberately, but he passed the ball into the hands of the Chief Justice, the High Court, the Supreme Court. And now the Supreme Court, the judges in that court are the ones that are actually should be blamed legally for violating our Constitution, because they had opportunity of standing by the spirit of the Constitution and they refused to do so.
And so that brings me to the question of the president violating the Constitution. Now, we are talking about this beautiful job that the CLC seems to be doing, reviewing our Constitution and making new, putting in new proposals that seem to be in the best interest of the country and the people of Sierra Leone. But what if this president, who is well known for violating our Constitution, don't give a damn about violating this Constitution further, like some of the new proposals that are in there? What if this president goes ahead and continue to violate this Constitution? Now, do you have any doubt that he will not violate this Constitution?
Well, you see, a Constitution is only meaningful to the extent at which it is respected. And once you begin to violate a Constitution, then it has no value anymore to the society.
Right.
And that is where we are right now. As it is, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have a Constitution. The fact that we've allowed this president to violate the Constitution not once, not twice, at least 3 times, to me, as far as I'm concerned, the Constitution has no value, so we don't have a Constitution. So, it won't surprise me at all, one, for him to reject the work of the current Constitutional Review Committee; 2, for him to continue to violate the Constitution. In that case, I shift the blame on to the opposition for their failure of leadership to stand up to him and seek the interests of the people.
And so, Mr. Suma, as a policy advocate, now we have this abridged report out, and they are inviting the entire public, the Sierra Leonean public around the world, to make their own inputs into the final draft that will come out. Now, what are your plans for making a contribution towards this abridged report?
Well, I do plan to send some recommendations to them. As I said earlier, I was skeptical, so I didn't want to waste my time, but because of the quality of work they've done, which I'm impressed with, so I think there's some opportunity there for us to have our voices heard. There are a few areas that I would like to look into. One, particularly the area of the power of the purse when it comes to defining the 3 branches of government: the legislative branch, judiciary, and the executive branch. But that division will only be meaningful if the power of the purse is not exclusively controlled by one branch. As it is here now, we have the executive branch having a greater influence over the allocation of resources, particularly with respect to the other branches of government. I will give you an example. Right now in our Constitution, salary. He could find a way to restrict their fringe benefits. He could find a way to subject them to some less security by withdrawing security forces. So just by doing some of those actions, he can influence the decision of the judges who may want to dance to his beck and call to avoid, being punished like that.
Right.
Unfortunately, there are no provisions in the Constitution that they or anybody else can use to hold the feet of the president, the executive branch, for failure to provide enough resources to the other branches, particularly the judiciary, which is currently dancing to the beck and call of the government, the president himself. So that's one area we'll look at. Another area I will look at is the provisions, recommendations made for changes in the Citizenship Act. Our Citizenship Act has some discriminatory clauses. Initially, there was a discriminatory clause that will only allow someone to pass citizenship, to acquire citizenship from your paternal lineage.
Right.
But luckily, the 1991 Constitution fixed that problem under the leadership of President Tijan Kabak. But now, we have both our sisters, our mothers, and our fathers can pass on citizenship through to their own offspring. The second area of discrimination within the Constitution has to do with the one that requires citizenship defined by the color of the race of the person. Asking for, requiring that to be somebody of a Negro background. That was humiliatingly disgraceful, racist clause. And I'm glad the current CRC has removed that from the current, as per the current recommendations that it put forward. There are three possible ways somebody can acquire citizenship, generally. By birth, meaning that either through your mother or your father, and that could be either within Sierra Leone or outside Sierra Leone, as long as either of your parents have Sierra Leonean citizenship. By default, you're a Sierra Leonean. The second area is by naturalization. The third option is by adoption. Now, unfortunately, in the area of the requirement for becoming a president of Sierra Leone, the Constitution says anybody who is a citizen of Sierra Leone is qualified to be president of Sierra Leone.
Right.
Now, somebody coming in, becoming a Sierra Leonean through either adoption or naturalization, is a little problematic if there are no additional conditions laid down. Most countries, like the US, Ghana, and other parts of the world, you have to be a natural born citizen. What does that mean? You need to be a citizen by birth for you to qualify to become a president. That's a very serious loophole that they need to take into consideration.
Right.
The other area that is also problematic, which other people have actually weighed on, has to do with somebody becoming citizen of Sierra Leone, irrespective of whether your parents, even if your parents are not Sierra Leoneans, but by virtue of the fact that you were born in Sierra Leone, you by default become a Sierra Leonean. Quite a good number of us have a problem with that, and this is why. 99%, and I challenge anyone who could dispute this, 99% of the countries around the world does not accord citizenship by default just by being born in the country, if neither of your parents are citizens of the country. So which means if both your parents are foreigners, if you are born in England, you're not automatically a British. If you are born in Germany, you're not automatically a German. And the same applies in most countries around the world, 99%. I guarantee anybody can challenge me on that. The only 2 countries, perhaps 3, that I know that has that type of clause in their constitution, the United States of America and Ireland. And usually the constitution defines how a nation is structured and governed. And in most cases, it is influenced by the history of that country. And that is why America, based on their history, helps to shape some of those clauses in their constitution. So we cannot pretend to behave like Americans when we are not qualified, educated to the level of the Americans. Most countries, we have to first of all understand, this is a general rule, that every child by default has the first right of citizenship of their parents. So which means foreigners in Sierra Leone, when they have a child in Sierra Leone, the child by default is a citizen of their parents' citizenship. Now, if they want Sierra Leonean citizenship, let there be some basic requirement, just like they have it in England, in Germany, in all the other countries around the world, for them to apply and require, because there are people in Sierra Leone who do not want Sierra Leonean citizenship. So why will you accord it to them by default?
Right.
We know people that are there who were born and bred in Sierra Leone, do not want to assimilate with us, do not want to have anything to do with Sierra Leoneans. They're just there to make money and go. You cannot force them to become Sierra Leonean citizenship. Give them an opportunity to ask for it. If they ask for it, meet the basic requirement, which I believe legislation they can look in, get some legislation to address that aspect. I think that sounds better than just making it by default and then considering the fact that there is that loophole within the very constitution that makes it automatic for those people to also run for president. A Chinese man can now have their child who may not have any consideration for Sierra Leone and says, oh, well, Chen Chong, my child was born in Sierra Leone. They go to China, spend the next 18, 20, 30 or 40 years, come back. By this constitution, they can bring their child back in Sierra Leone, run for the president, pump some money into that Chinese child, and that Chinese child become president because our constitution says so. Right. So that's an area I would like them to look into, at least try to review that aspect again, and follow the examples of 99% of the countries around the world, so that we will be able to be like them. Let's don't try to reinvent the wheel when we don't even master the skills yet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it. That's Mr. Jesmed Fodemami Suma talking to us live from New Jersey in the United States. Of course, as you know him, he is an advocate for good policies in Sierra Leone. And so, Mr. Mami, we want to say a lot of thanks to you for your time. Every time we call on you, you are always readily available. We appreciate that. And of course, next week, we're going to bring in a Liga Minds to talk with us here at Sherix Broadcast Network together with Mr. Mami. And so once more, Mr. Mami.
I want to make one disclaimer quick.
Right. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
I want the public, your audience, to know that I am not a lawyer. So I'm not pretending or claiming to be a lawyer. The only good thing is I know how to formulate policies, and I know how to read and write, and I know how to read law books and constitutions, and able to make an argument based on the basis on what I understand from them. So that's the knowledge that I'm sharing, but I'm not pretending to be a lawyer. Thank you.
All right. But anyway, we admire your courage. We admire your inputs and everything that you are doing for Sierra Leone. And so once more, we want to say a lot of thanks to you, and we wish to see you next weekend. And thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks for having me.
All right.
On the 16th of February this month, the Constitutional Review Committee of Sierra Leone, charged with responsibility of reviewing the Constitution of Sierra Leone, has produced an abridged report, which they have circulated both in their websites as well as the people of Sierra Leone and members of Sierra Leonean community in the diaspora, as well as our development partners. Key issues are mentioned there. I will just mention few that are of critical importance. the term of limits of the president, it has been revealed. The people still want a 2-year consecutive term, no more, no less. The issue of citizenship is there. The issue of the land tenure system in Sierra Leone is also there. There are a wide range of issues that has to do with decentralization and local government elections, having specific dates for all the elections in Sierra Leone. So there are so critical issues that are contained in that report that calls for a serious review by all Sierra Leoneans, including development partners. I want to entreat Sierra Leoneans and those who are our friends and development partners to take a look at that constitution and ensure that final comments that are supposed to be made are made. On my part, as an intending aspirant for the Sierra Leone People's Party flag bearer election, I've gone through the report itself, and we are going to ensure that we make our additional input before a final document is reached. I call on my brothers and sisters in the diaspora to make use of this opportunity to make additional comments to the draft report.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Honorable Alpha Timbo, one of the aspirants for the flag bearer position in the opposition Sierra Leone People's Party, talking on the, talking about the abridged report that has been issued out by the Constitutional Review Committee. We want to say a lot of thanks to you, Mr. Timbo, for everything that you continue to do for Sierra Leone and for the Sierra Leone People's Party. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say a lot of thanks to you as well for following us. The abridged report is out there from the Constitutional Review Committee, and you have been invited as a Sierra Leonean to make your own input. Of course, tomorrow you don't want to blame anybody. You now have the opportunity to go to their website and read the report and make your own input. It is currently in front of the parliamentarians. They are reviewing it as well. So we want to say a lot of thanks to you. So stick around with us.
The Constitutional Review Committee, CRC, has been set up by the government of Sierra Leone to review the 1991 Constitution. The committee is an independent body funded by the government of Sierra Leone, the UN family, DFID, and the EU. So it's a chance to make a better Sierra Leone. Everybody has a suggestion, but they don't know how to pass it on. So CSC is here to help. You can send your opinion, cause it's your right to change your constitution.
Shebe bawuno mbo mekodo banka bawuno ya. Shebe bawuno. Shebe bawuno. O shebe bawuno mbo. Shebe bawuno. Shebe bawuno. O shebe bawuno mbo mekodo banka bawuno mbo. Shebe bawuno. Shebe bawuno.
Asu.
Shebe bawuno ya.
Asu.
One.
I scared too.
Boy, they sick and remember one plan show. Wait, they can't touch me. Now make a skate.
Eh.
Yes.
Asu.
Now,
I want to tell you fine talk.
What you want telling me?
If I tell you that talk, you go gladly for me.
Yeah, I go gladly. You want telling me say the because they can't born in a boy picking?
No.
I feel this one I don't know.
That anyway can have you.
Yes, I know.
Hey. Asu. I hope say no go vex.
I will try the Quebec for. Me better not the Quebec span.
Asu. I want standing for Paramount Chief.
What it?
Paramount Chief.
Now this us?
Yes.
I put it down in the yacht. Woman the Paramount Chief. Not your this me be layer.
Also wait, I don't want to vex. You know say me na chief family I come on.
I know.
And we all na so girls begin with daddy boy.
Yes. Wally, Charlie daddy like you uncle. Na in a man.
No.
Hey, no, they can't stop me pan chop. I want to let you know something. Say this ocean na me na the chief. After me, now you. After you, now me back.
No, Osu. Now me want take that chance. I want to live life to improve.
No, not your proof, Brandy. Look, you don't go fight. You don't begin speaking clean spirit. Don't go fight. Proof. Not your proof.
Osu.
Now
I beg, just support.
Forget about you down there.
Osu. Who's saying they go now?
At the committee. You know say we get community
Osu,
meeting.
me you for workers team na so.
I no complain about that you go. Not say mo no dey go.
What's that people are no kite? I mean, look at the speed when me they carry it. They say 2 o'clock now, 4 o'clock now, so. Black man, we don't respect time. Anytime when they say 2 o'clock, no say na 4 o'clock. But wait, man, when they say 2 o'clock, now 2 o'clock. Of course, now we on time, now we don't respect time. And they won't understand.
Alter you come, you know the blow?
Eh? Super.
You know the blow?
Sit down.
Oh wait, sir, now the meeting this. Now the meeting this you call 2-man meeting.
I'm not a 2-man meeting. Me man, I get the message. They sell on me up on the rock. So on the rock man in this room.
So me don't waste me on time, I don't left me put. Eh? For case you don't now wait for man there. No, wait man they can call me, yeah?
But wait, you don't come one thing.
I'm not to wait business.
Sit down. You don't come. Sit down.
Now losses now they can give me so because you know so anytime I let them move on that problem.
Good afternoon.
Anselo.
How na they do?
No bad.
What happened? How na sit down so?
Well, the fine here, you say no.
Bigger waiting. Bigger waiting call me.
No, but I just said.
No, I don't like that, bro. I don't like that. All tell me like for to call me the fire.
No, I
don't like so, bro. I don't like so.
Okay, I saw it, sir.
So they behave yourself, bro.
I saw it, sir.
What happened with people in Okai?
What? Now we this way can tell.
Hey. Okay, no problem. Let me try for the arranging now. Tell people when they come here. I want to get water. How much of that to take over water?
This one, the big one or the small one?
No, that short one.
Oh, that one, the small one. Now 5,000.
Slow.
What's happening?
Don't forget to the other one gun.
Oh, don't go. Now 6,000, sir.
6,000?
Yes. And like we go need 15 ball because don't tell man the one again for camp.
6,000. What I would suggest, not buy the bundle water instead. I'm not saying Boku, they choke inside the plastic. What are they laugh now?
Nothing, sir.
I'm going to
I'm going to buy some black.
Go buy some proper call man.
No, now wait. Don't buy the bundle water one time. So as people like with the can now, we go know that one again.
Okay, no bad.
Yeah, these are 3,000. You go buy one bundle first, then as people like with the car, we send them buy other one.
Oh, Cancelo, it don't go up. Now 4,000 now.
No, but now 2,500. But they say they pick it every day now. Also buy for me bundle water, bro.
That's the na every one.
Now go quick now 2,500, bro.
5, eh?
That's it. Hello. Yes, I know you boy.
Boss, I cancel all again. Remember for go get and change you.
Who's change?
85 block change you. Wait.
Look at my man, bro. 85 block, the whole.
Sir, you know, see you man surprise me.
What's happening?
Sir, for the past 2 years, now the first 10 days, I see you man in no way particular.
So tell you nothing, no cut that. So tell you no what's I mean.
Me, what's no more? Go get and change.
Forget about that change.
Also forget business, so go give the man in change.
Hey, me man. You don't say I glad if I'm back small, eh?
For what thing?
We know where that uniform dey. Because hey, when it comes to community business, community business na community business. Not a politics business.
But that's why for be.
That's why for be.
All time in my reg.
When they talk about development, the man for sure.
I can wonder if na race.
But let them man and themselves they not capable understand. And they can't see now where they do so. I don't say na so you go before. You go talk say in the spend but
the man is spending.
Who's man is not 2.5.
Osu, Dika, Osu.
Man, how the meeting?
Which one?
That one they call Lupa.
Hey, bear rock.
Yes.
That means no. It almost they done. Now close the prayer then they pass.
I am chatting there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be back. Oh, Dika.
Osu.
Hey, Osu no dey change.
You got big guy. They go.
When Bele.
They go meet people.
Osu man.
Therefore, manufacturing it's just prototype. And maybe 2 or 3 or 4, 5, I don't know exactly. Hopefully.
It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Unbreakable display.
Unbreakable?
Yeah.
Scratch
because
proof.
there is no glasses. Typically, display use glasses. Yeah. But it doesn't need glass. So, a typical display has glasses, but it doesn't need. It's just plastic.
How big can it make it? Can it make it really big? Or are it constrained to a specific size, resolution, or?
I think last year we made 6.5 USD.
6.5 inch?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's amazing. It's vivid color. AMOLED has a lot of advantages. Vivid color, previewing angles, and fast responses.
How much is the battery consumption? Must be really good.
That's good. It's much more advanced, improved, enhanced, compared to previous.
Sweet.
Oh, shit. Young Lee on the beats.
Ooh, yeah. I will exalt thee, realm of the free. Great is the love that I have. For me, alone, for we home. Yes, alone are we own. We can only build this land if we all plan. We lift it from years and ages.
Been in cages. I will never do none for turn new pages. But woman don't die, we kill and they cry. Bola don't come, but Kuma still survive. No matter the wages, one rank ranges. We need to be united from God to black faces. With unity, freedom, and justice, I pledge my love for SL in peace.
So let the hills and valleys echo our cry. Bless and peace be ever thine own. We lack we salon.
Salon independent, and we for try for make this land. Salon independent, and we for try for make this land. It no matter who side you dey, oh mama, how far you dey, hey brother, how near you dey, and we for try for make this land.
Only me na money, me na maswa. Only ni. Some of you thinking I'm not run and go. I'm not showing you and go. I promise you, mama, no go leave you alone. No matter far away I go, they always come back and feel me so. Because it's a place like home.
Make you dey Las Palmas, now for Camba, or even Bahamas, now for Camba. Gold dey plenty, diamond plenty, bauxite, iron ore, look at backpack. Are we for Megari from Casada? Are we for Fenam, hard like Okada? Are we for plant rice? Are we for plant corn? Are we for Shapuya, Ipa corruption? Are we for Ace with flag as a nation? Not a Queen or Obama get for Mekia. Now me and you get for Tina Pembekia. Sierra Leone, now we own ya.
Salon independent, and we for try for this land. Salon independent, and we for try for this land. It no matter who side you dey, oh mama, how far you dey, hey baba, how near you dey, and we for try for make we land.
Come on, make we make salon. See, I love me salon like I like Pema. No matter what team be me, I no go run go bandul. So I say, oh, I like me salon. So, I like me salon.
Happy about it, so they go out and blue. Land that will let you rock.
News, sports, weather, business and finance, technology, culture, and more. Tell us your story. Let's debate. Let's stand on issues. Let's defend democracy in Africa. On SBN Live. Sherix Broadcast Network. We lead, others follow.
someone